Hey, it's John Siskovich with the single best piece of advice that I could give now several years in to growing a hop yard for starting your own hop yard at any kind of scale. Stick around, check it out. So I found it very difficult to find really good information on starting and running a hop yard for a small scale grower, especially if you're trying to do it organically, just because there are not a lot of people doing it. And the people doing it don't put out a lot of information. So it's been tough to wrangle it up. There's been a lot of mistakes made in my hop yard, and that is why I'm making this video. So at this point, I know a few people who are starting up hop yards or have started hop yards, and I find one common thread that really kind of screws everybody over. And that is not getting your yard completely set up before you get the plants in the ground. And what do I mean by completely set up? Poles in the ground, wires in the air, irrigation in, black plastic mulch is the best way to go, in my opinion, so far in 2015. Everything set up, the soil amended, the rows the way you want it, the yard laid out the way you wanted it. Figure out all your problems before you put plants in the ground. What's really, I find really difficult is that my plants went in the ground before we had a lot of our infrastructure in, and now I'm fighting to catch up to it. My production is garbage. This year is not a good year for hops for me. Whether it was the nature, whether it was my management decisions, I'm not entirely sure yet. I'm going to keep researching and doing the best I can to salvage what I can out of the yard this year, but it did not go well. And a lot of that trouble is because the yard wasn't set up properly initially. So if you're looking to set up a hop yard at any kind of scale, my suggestion with you, because it's a huge investment, still take year one, the first year, and just set up your yard. That's it. Don't buy any plants. Buy plants year two. It's going to be obnoxious to you because you're going to want to be eager to grow things and get things set up and in the yard. But really, the trouble and the money it's cost not having things set up properly and then fighting against nature and these plants that want to grow in a certain way. And if you want to control those variables, even if you're doing it conventionally, not having the proper setup, it's going to take you more time and money than you expect. That's kind of anything in small business, especially agriculture. But it takes time to set up a yard, and it's hard to find experienced people who are going to put the poles in right, who are going to put them so they're not at a weird angle, and then to put steel up. I only have 1.4 acres of hops. I have 21 250-foot rows. It's 3 miles of steel cable. There's a lot of effort, a lot of work to put up the quar every year. We're figuring things out step by step, and it's very, very difficult. Take the first year, get your yard set up, get the cabling up. You don't have to necessarily do quar the first year because you don't have hops, but get your irrigation in, get your mulch down. The mulch is a big thing because I'm battling it now. You can see all the weeds behind me, and I'm sure a lot of my plants are stunted because of the weed competition. Still, again, trying to figure that out. So take the first year, get your yard set up, put your plants in the ground year two, otherwise you're going to be pulling your hair out. And that extra time and that extra investment up front will save you boatloads of effort. And I use an over-exaggerated head tilt back there, boatloads of trouble down the line, because I can't tell you how much sleep I lose at night because the hop yard is doing so poorly this year, because whether it's nature, whether it's me, or whether it was the initial setup or a combination of all three, it's not doing well. So take the time, make the investment, and that's the single best piece of advice I can give you. I can go into details on what kind of irrigation to use, what kind of plants to do, what kind of poles, and those are for other videos. Single best piece of advice, and I keep beating this drum: get your yard set up and then plant your plants the next year, and you'll be way better off. So thanks for stopping in. I hope this helps. I hope this saves at least one person from making a huge investment and having it be just trouble for years to come. That's it. And until next time, I'll see you out in the hop yard.